First of all, I'm happy to see a few more than last time, and I hope I don't repeat myself too much for those who were here last time. How many of you were here last time? And I'm so honored to see Irving Johns, the son of the late Belle Johns, who is very well known for her basketry, especially the squash blossoms. I've seen them all the way from 3 to 10 petal at the Arts and Crafts when it first opened. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, Anya anyod Jacqualine Zillioux. Anyam anyod Akimel O'otham. I'm Ki Vakitam, and I'm happy, like I said, to be here with you. So let me start out with a piece of creation story told by Thin Leather. But at first, the whole slope of the world was westward, and though there were peaks rising from this slope, there were no true valleys, and all the water would run away, and there was no water for the people to drink. So Jivad Makai, Earth Doctor, sent Nyue, buzzard, to fly around among the mountains and over the earth to cut valleys with his wings so that the water would be caught and distributed, and there might be enough water for the people to drink. Jivad Makai, Earth Doctor, water, earth, world, people, as in the creation story, further teaches us understanding of ecosystem, and that which is all the world finally realize is time to be part in taking action for the survival of life. Our water rights celebration that was held yesterday is, as in this creation story, further teaches and reminds us the understanding of ecosystem, and that which all the world finally realize is time to be a part in taking action for the survival of all the people and all life, and especially us Akimel O'otham and the Kuri Akimel. So the words that I got from there was, how many of you were there yesterday? Good. Do you remember those words that we need to keep vigilant, to maintain the hold on our water rights, and so to say, to take our place and in the water table, so to speak. How great the celebration was. I encourage you to make plans to be there next year, December 10th. And especially, there was really good eating. As a young teenager in my life in the village of Vaki, I would walk and run 2 miles to my cousin's house, where we would swim in the ditch, water, and make water slides on the side of the bank. Our shorts would end up pretty much barely there, even though the material was Levi. We made mud dolls, babies with bonnets. You know how you roll it up like a Tootsie Roll and pinch the top edge for the bonnet, and then make little slices and dots or slices for the blanket and dots for the eyes and nose and mouth. That's what we did. And also we played in the mud and played how they told us that the mud was good for our bodies and our hair. They said it had to be black mud, but we didn't use black mud because it had that smell. But I wish I had used black mud. My hair's getting thin and grayer. So anyway, my mom would tell me also that her grandmother would collect and make these bundles, the Some of the young people call it hats now. I just only know it as ihok bundles. Ihok is, those of you that are getting familiar with the language, I encourage you to do that. So ihok is the word for the devil claw, or martinia in the science language. So she would tell me that her grandmother would make bundles of these, collect them from the ground and make these bundles and sell them. Guess it was hard times in those days. So Kuri Akimel, in the days of our ancestors, the Hulgam the Kuri Akimel was a great flowing river, abundant with plant and animal life. In my mother's time, as a young girl, she and her foster parents crossed the river in a wagon to go to town, to Chandler. She told me that right there where Serrano's restaurant is, there was a stables with hay for the horses, free of charge. I guess it wasn't only for the O'otham, it was probably for anyone traveling by horse or horses. Kuri Akimel must have been very wide to cross in those days. The Hulgam, our ancestors, are well known for their 500 miles of irrigation canals, which stretch into the Phoenix Valley, canals 10 feet and 30 feet wide, of which are still used for some of the canals in the metropolitan area. So you can imagine that all the willow, cattails, and other basket material was readily available at that time. I learned Pima basketry at around 1967 at the age of 13 from the late Neoma White, the mother of our governor, one of our governors, Thomas White. She taught us first with the cottonwood little limbs, and then we graduated to the chur, or the willow. And then later in life, the use of a natural red dye from the root of the uto. I don't know what it's called in English. If anybody knows, please tell me. But anyway, this uto is what makes the kind of like the sienna brown red coloring on some of the baskets. You might see them on Ricky Francisco's baskets, who I believe is our most excellent basket weaver today. I learned the tools. I learned how to gather and prepare the basket material, the ihok, the chur, and the otvak. The otvak is the cattail, and when we try to identify it to those that don't know, we say the ones that have the corn dogs on top. So I learned how to prepare them. Split the ihok with your teeth and the knife. Split it like a banana peel, how you do that. Then the chur, you gather in the spring when there's fresh twigs, or the growth from the branches. Those are the ones that you pick and already prepare while you're out there gathering. Then you put them in bundles, this little tiny bundle that I have left, and then the otvak, the cattail, they're grown. You can see them in ponds. I know when you go to Bashes from Hunt Highway, there's some on the corner in those little ditches right there. And right now, it's probably hard to see anymore because of the canals, although it's for a good purpose, and it's for what was told yesterday, the main reasons for the canals and the use of our water rights. The ponds are not there anymore because of those, and used to get them over there by the back roads to Maricopa, but now it's just dry, and so probably have to go elsewhere to gather that material. So some tools that we used in preparing is the vainum. the coop duck from a jar, and the and your awl or your aga. Irving. Oh, Ovich, how? Ovich, and they're to be placed right here in the between these two fingers and used like an extension of another finger to make your place in where you're making your strands. Poke the hole in there and then wind around each time. And again, with this lid, you can see little different size holes in there because you already want to know or already figure out how wide your strands are going to be so they can be all the same, or they won't be odd sizes in there. And as you can see, when you get a chance to come up and see the strands, how uniform they are and how tight the weave is. And for the autumn basketry, it always starts with the e-hook, the black, and that's how you can usually tell that the first stitches begin with the e-hook, the devil claw, and there's some tie it in a knot or make that it's like a little, I don't know how you call it, it's a little square weave that you start out and then start going around. The designs, from what was seen, were like the fret, the swastika, the whirlwind, coyote track, squash blossom, star, turtleback, the shield. And these were, a lot of them taken from the ancient stories, like the man in the maze, that story there. There's a basket dance song where it talks about young women, or really the song that says, it's called Chukumashudak, where it's like a dark pond of water, and all the women gathered there. And I imagine that they go in to gather their materials through this song. And again, the song that was sung was, the women rushed out and they were yelling, all crowded with cattail leaves. Green dragonflies were trying to cling to their otavak, the cattail. And then I guess later when they did finish the baskets, there's another song that was sung in the basket dance song, where all the women that finished their baskets would proudly present their baskets in this dance, and that would be the baskets would be filled in with the ocotillo flowers. And you can imagine when you see the young girls dancing, that when they go like this, they need to be careful that they don't spill their flowers, because I see some go way over. So, but anyway, that's what that dance represents. In my elder life, I've had the honor of being asked to teach the basics of basketry or basket weaving to Native American actors in San Francisco for a play titled Cashed Out. This play was written by our own tribal member, Claude Jackson, who I didn't know did this kind of work, because I thought I worked with him through the courts. I thought he was a lawyer and that was it, but he has hidden talents. And this Cashed Out play ended up to be a short film that they titled The River. And who was featured in there is our own Miss Gila River, Susanna Osef. And I think she could be a fine actress. So look out, Lily Gladstone. This film has been selected for film festivals, so maybe you'll see it somewhere. And although we no longer gather or harvest basket material in our own natural water ponds or the river, we now look to the tribe's water rights projects, the MAR 5, where you can see abundant growth of willow and even cottonwood, if you want to start there, and the cattails. And I haven't seen, but I'm sure that in the surrounding area there'll be the ihok or the devil claw. So we encourage young O'otham to regain knowledge in the relation of water, plant life, cultural pride for the skill and knowledge of O'otham basketry. In other words, regain strong understanding of what the ecosystem is all about. After all, that is what our past and present leaders have argued and continue to argue in the courts. And I wish to thank you for being here and to learn a little bit more about the basketry and encourage you to maybe learn it. It seems to be fading. How many can you count? How many do you know that's in the community that still does basketry, still know how and when to gather the materials, still know how to prepare the material, and still know how to begin the first stitches, the first beginning. And I encourage you to look into it. Like I said, how many can you count of our basket weavers? It was said in a little book from, I forget the name of the book, but Brazil is the name of the author, and she was, I understand, was a wife to one of our superintendents way back in time. It was her that went around to meet all the women and that made baskets, and she was saying in that book that every family in Gila River had a basket weaver. And so sad how many families have a basket weaver today. So I encourage you, and I thank you for listening to me, and I encourage you or welcome you to come check out the material. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them. Oh, I forgot to mention also, way back in, I believe it was 96, when we, after we took classes from Ricky Francisco, 4 of us got encouraged to do like just get together and sit together in like a weaving circle. That was Delphia Graves and Sandra Jackson, the late Tammy Histia, or Tammy's mother, Ethelene Histia, and myself. So we would gather in Sackatoon and weave together, and then pretty soon 4 people began to be 8 people, and then more community members started to coming in. So for me, it started to be a teaching session instead of weaving my own, but I didn't mind. That was I felt my part to do for the people. And after that session, the greatest honor was to be in the March of the Parade to escort Irving's mother, the late Isabel, and she was the parade, what do they call it? The Grand Marshal, yes. She was the Grand Marshal at that time, and we got to walk next to her as she rode in her ride, and that was the greatest honor for me. So I just wanted to share that, and this is just the paper of our little group back in 69 or That was about 79. So thank you. If you have any questions? I didn't mention the stone, the river stone. You look for a very smooth one. Sometimes, you use, I learned to use my teeth as I went along to make sure the shape was taking its form that I wanted. Some use a stone to tap it into place, and then sometimes at the end they use it to shine the devil claw part or the basket. That's it. Thank you.
Is it hard to find the devil's claws now?
Well, they're out there, and especially along the where people do their farming. But I don't know if they have their own like fertilizers, and so you have to look elsewhere. The safest thing that a lot of basket weavers are doing now is to plant your own, have your own garden, and start planting them. They're beautiful purple flowers that come out from the.
I know when we were younger, we'd always find them all the time. We'd just walk around the river.
And eat the seeds.
Yeah, we'd take them and stuff, but now I don't see them that often.
Yeah. They're still out there, but they're shorter, and you want the ones with the long stems, or this part, so you have a longer, and you don't have to switch or change your stem.
What would you say that the seeds taste like?
Kind of like a bland pumpkin seed.
Yeah, like a pumpkin, sunflower seed.
Yeah.
In between.
Yeah. Any other question? So you're welcome to come up.
How long does it take to make?
Oh,
Like your bigger ones that you have?
it all depends on your, I guess the time you put in there. Like now, I would say every time I start like to teach, I only come out with little round one, but that's about maybe this size. And I just put it away. I'm ashamed to say I only do it when I'm teaching, and my thing is beadwork right now. But it takes a little time. But once you get experience in keeping your strands the same, and it'll be rough looking your first one, and we were told that your first one has to go to your teacher, the one that taught you how to do that. So however long it takes you, I guess that's how long your teacher's going to get your your first one. But a lot of people are using it using small, like medallion size, so they go real fast. I guess they stop there. They don't end up with a completed full basket. They use them for like medallions on a necklace. I'm sure you've seen them. And this is one of Ricky's bracelets. And she, like I said, she does fine work. She makes little doll figurines too that are so cute. Yeah. And earrings. She made these earrings too. So yeah, so that's, if you can finish this size, but I'll tell you that it's hard to make a match for the first one. Yeah. Okay.
Tell us how you got started
with it. With basketry, as I mentioned, at the age of about 13, the arts and crafts just opened maybe the year before, and the late Neoma White, who is Governor Tommy White's mother, she had a class there, so that's where I got to start learning from her. Then I did my first one with her, and then I went to boarding school, came back and picked it up again and learned the edging is fine work. There's just a single strand that you can start with, but then it goes into 2 strands where you go across, then 3 strands, and some have gone up to 4, however many. I know Ricky probably does 4. an intricate little edgework design. Uh-huh.
Do you know if they give classes out now?
That's a question for Leland. They sometimes have classes here at the on the other side in their workroom. Uh-huh. And I'm sure it's a matter of collecting enough material for however many students they plan to have. But it's real, it does take time. It takes a lot of your time to, like I said, the gathering, preparing, and then finally sitting down. And that's through the seasons you collect the material. So by winter time, they say that's when you sit down and do your weaving. Then by springtime, you can get out there and do your basket dance.
Can you talk a little bit more about the patterns that you use?
The patterns, the easiest one that we start off with is like this one here, but a single row. I see a lot of first timers do this pattern, but it's a single row where this has every 5 rows of that fret like. Yeah, or right now you can get creative. Back then they were mostly all like I mentioned, those designs, coyote tracks, turtleback, and they were all using those designs, and then some got creative and did their own. So you can create your own too. Yeah. And then of course those that were all solid and black, you know, like I mentioned, it's not utilitarian anymore. The solid black was used for roasting wheat, corn, or parching those in baskets like that. Can you imagine somebody using a basket for that right now? It'd be hard to see, but it's all the devil cloth because it's so thick and strong. Yeah. Anything else? Who wants to start weaving baskets? Good. Yeah.
Do we know who created the first squash blossom?
I couldn't say. Maybe Leland knows.
I didn't know in our origin story there was a person that took it to the blossom. And that's what it was like.
That's where it came from. But to weave it, I don't know who wove the first one. But I know, like I said, the late Belle Johns that's all she did, I'm sure, because all her baskets were, I'm sure do they have any here? Yeah, those are all squash blossoms over there. And are those all hers?
Those are hers.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Jackie, can you talk a little bit about the basket you have on the table?
Okay. I made all these baskets. No, I'm just kidding. I wish I could say that. But no, some were given to my mother, and some I got from in Casa Grande. They have an auction, that Western Post Trading Post, and I got to put in a bid, and I got about 4 of them through there. But these baskets are all devil claw. And what's the word for devil claw? I want you to leave with knowing 1 or 2 or a few autumn words for basketry that start with the, what? Can I say like that guy in the movie? The black, the e-hook, the devil claw. And this is one of those fret designs. This is probably a storage type, but it's the biggest one I have, and the rest. This one looks like it was. Again, it starts with the e-hook, and the light white color or the cream color is the what? The willow, the chuor. And inside what makes the coil to wrap around your strands is the otwak, the cattail. And a little bit about preparing the cattail. You get it when those corn dogs, before they pop open and fly all over, get it before then. And then you just chop that part off, and they've got long leaves. You take all the leaves off and you're left with a rod where you split in half and dry them out, usually on a rack. So these will stay straight, and when you're doing your weaving, your coils will remain straight. They won't curl, because if you don't split them in half, they'll curl or roll back into itself. And then you're still going to have to split them again, and they split real nice to the whatever width you want your basket to be, like a little real fine like this one, or real thick. No, just your knife, because when you go down on the side, it simply slides straight down when it's dry. And but the knife is the one you split the yolk, and you get this part here. Say it's one of those claws, and you split the sharp end. You split it open, and from there you put one side into, for me, my teeth, and then you bring your knife through there, and then with your fingers you just peel it apart, and it'll come down slowly like a banana peel. Then you shave it down to the thickness that should be good for your baskets. Then all this you keep in water. You keep the ihok wet when you're using it, the chuod wet when you're using it, and this just the tip when you're adding new strands into your basket. You wet it to adhere into your weaving, and then this one you'll be to size it. Like I said, you want all the same width of strands, so you go through this lid from the opposite direction, because you poke the hole this way and the other side is kind of like jagged, so it grabs onto your strand and you pull it through. And can you tell which one of these? Oh, I believe this one's kind of like the whirlwind design, and this is like one of those frets again. Same thing here. And this, I'm thinking, I believe it's like a turtleback or I'm not sure. It might be like a flower design. And so can you tell me, among all of these, which one is not Akimel O'otham basket?
Like that.
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else? Want to guess? Actually, it's this one. Uh-huh. And for the Tono O'otham, they use bear grass. They also use the iok for the black bear grass, and what was it? Takwi. Oh, it's the yucca. Yeah. Oh, and then you need a little piece of board to, some lay their material down to do that scraping, and laying the end of the devil claw down to poke that hole on the edge to begin opening it apart. I believe that's it for me. Anything else? When are we having a class, Leland? Or how many want to take a class? Maybe there's not enough interest.
Would it be, how can I say this? Would it be indifferent for men to do that?
Oh, that's a big controversy right now. I was told that only women did the baskets, but in these days and times, sometimes I'm kind of undecided, because how else is it going to continue if nobody, just like the language, if nobody's going to carry it on, what's going to happen to it? But right now, even Ricky says that her mother told her it was only for women. But like I said, it's in controversy. But if you have that will to learn something and keep it existing for us as Akimel O'otham, I encourage. Now remember when our river dried up and all the willow kind of disappeared. Even our group, we had to travel to pick a willow down in Aravica National Park, I guess. We went upstream to the Gila River right there in Superior and Kearney, that area. We went to harvest over there, and then I know Ricky goes to Colorado River to get her willow. And like some Southwest tribes, like the Colorado River tribes, they use willow. I'm not sure if they use cattail, but I believe they use the devil claw too, because it grows there too. But yeah, you can even have your gardens and grow it there.
Just to mention the basket maker, Susan, Justin, Susana. Yeah, well, we used to go play on White River or St. Carlos baseball. She'll go to the river and get her stuff. Get her stuff from there when we go home. Okay, well, what's in the box? I say, oh, that's Susana, that's grandma's stuff. So exactly.
And she's also your relation too.
Yeah, she'll make her pilgrimage to the middle of the creek there. We wonder, where'd she go? Where's she going? They say, come out, man. That was good.
So it's definitely like a year-round, you're planning to harvest, try out. I do like that.
So my presentation, that's my presentation. And you're welcome to come check out. Thank you. Tell Leland.
Ko manya wo chamanya